Hey guys, welcome back to the video. I had pushed this truck when I first got it. I pushed it here so I can work on it. I already removed the hood. The hood was just laying on top. Everything under here appears to be connected. Like I was saying, everything appears to be connected. And I know that this engine had run before, not that long ago, and I can tell that that is true. Uh, so I removed the hood. I got a battery here. I got a battery charger. I'm going to connect the battery. And what I would like to do, I would like to just turn it over and see what it does. That's all that I'm going to do to it for right now. And then, of course, once I check a few things, then we let it run for a while and stuff like that. So the first thing that I did is I got the battery and I noticed that these battery cables are kind of like this, I guess side post style. So I got this battery post terminals that I had. So this is the positive. It goes down to the starter. So I'm gonna start by hooking this up right here, and just a quick test. If there's no sparks there or anything, I'm gonna use these wing nuts uh, to, for now, just to see what kind of action we're gonna get here out of this engine. Supposed to be a rebuilt engine, and like I said, it hasn't been sitting forever. So I don't want to go through the whole 9 yards of pulling the plugs, and I just want to give it a little test, start and see to make sure that this engine turns over. That's about the wing nut for here. It doesn't have a battery tray. Apparently, what was left of the battery tray, which is junk, just a piece of metal corroded. So I got this battery right here. Got my battery charger. I went ahead and disconnected the fuel hose that goes to the back of the tank, just to make sure it's not going to suck up anything right now. So got this tight, get a little bit tighter with these pliers, and it's going to be the first turnover with the starter, with this project here. So like I said earlier, it's got a radiator in it. Transmission lines are hooked up. It's got hoses. It's got wires, alternator, distributor. So I just want to turn it over. I don't even know if it's going to turn over with the key. I do have a key for it, and the key appears to turn properly, but I don't even know if it's going to do anything with the key, but we shall see. I'm going to hook up the charger, the battery charger again, and then I'm going to let it sit for a while, get a good charge out of it, and then try to see what it does. It's the name of the game. Let's see what this thing's going to do. It's always exciting, a little nerve-wracking whenever you try to start something or turn over something that is unknown for the first time. So this being a small block Chevy, it's supposed to have a lot of work done to it. I don't know that until I start verifying whether that was done or not. So I have a good reason to believe that it did, but until we crank this up and see how it runs, then we'll really know for sure. Let me turn on this battery charger. I'm gonna leave that battery charger on to make sure we get a good charge, and then we'll have to come back to it. I went and got another battery. The battery that I had on there, it was not taking a charge, and it was taking a long time for it to even try to do anything. So I grabbed the battery out of my truck, and I have it hooked up, and I hooked up the battery charger on it just to make sure that it's got plenty of power. So I'm gonna hit the ignition switch and see what it's gonna do, and let's see what happens. I just want to turn it over. Oh yeah, sounds, well, it spins, and it spins fairly good and fast, but it's got that typical Chevrolet starter flywheel grind that I really hate. So I'll probably have to adjust that starter or shim it up, or we need to see what we got to do about that. But hey, it turns over, so that's cool. You know what I'm going to do? I got some gas. I'm just going to shoot a little bit gas down the carburetor. See if this thing fires up. I mean, why not? It was running before, so this will be the first for me, but uh, let's try that and see what happens. I got some gasoline in this right here. Put a whole lot of it in there. See what the heck is gonna happen. I mean, why not? Let's see what this thing is gonna do. Um, it doesn't have a dipstick for the engine or dipstick tube, but it does have a oil pressure gauge on the inside. So let's see what it's gonna do. I'm just gonna turn it on for a few seconds. If it does start and run, I have no idea. I have no idea about that carburetor. Looks kind of like it's been around for a while, but let's see. Let's hit that starter again. I know starter's grinding, and so let's see if we get a spark. This thing is gonna try to start. Oh, look at that! So we're definitely getting spark, and this thing did try to start. So um, awesome. That was kind of uneventful. So what am I gonna do now? I'm gonna put a little more gas, or maybe fuel the. Well, just a little gas right now. Let's see if we can get this thing to run for a few seconds at least. Here we go. That is amazing and uneventful. You know, on the other videos that I've done on a previous car, I went through a whole kinds of issues with trying to get an engine started and everything. But this thing started right up, which is great. You know, the guy that sold it to me, he was right. I mean, everything was there, like you said it was. So what I need to do now to make it run a little bit longer is I'm going to hook up a small gas tank, I suppose, with the hose to feed the fuel pump, so it'll get fresh gas in it. And I'm going to put some water in the radiator because it doesn't have anything, and probably even pull a valve cover to make sure that we're getting oil pressure. Let me see, we got some oil pressure on the inside gauge. No, the gauge on the inside is not an oil pressure gauge. It's a temperature gauge, water temperature, coolant temperature. So probably need to make sure this thing is getting oil pressure. So I probably will pull a valve cover once I get everything hooked up, and to make sure that it's running and getting some oil up on the valve train. Then I would for sure know that it's got some type of oil pressure. So let me hook up a fuel source directly to the fuel pump. I did see that the fuel, whatever fuel was remnant or whatever was left over in that see-through fuel filter, I did see it move. So it's a good indication that the fuel pump, the mechanical fuel pump on the block there on the engine, it's probably good. So I'm going to go ahead and try to hook up a fuel source to it, and let's see what this thing's going to do. Hopefully we can get it to idle and run for a while. Okay, here we go. Okay, I ended up having to go to the gas station to get some fresh gas. So I installed this makeshift fuel source here. That's my fuel tank right there. So the fuel pump is going to suck it right into the carburetor through this tank here momentarily. Another thing that I wanted to do, I wanted to remove this valve cover to make sure that I'm getting oil pressure. It does have some stuff there on the top. It looks like some kind of red droppings or something. So Let me clean that up a little bit so that I don't get it into the engine. Let me get, I got something over here I can clean it with. I'm just going to brush this off gently. Not disturbing too much stuff. Get that off of there. I actually need to vacuum all this out, but I'm really anxious to get this going. So I'm just going to do it like this for now. And then we'll clean it properly later. Just right now, so I won't get out none of this stuff inside the engine. So I'm just cleaning that up right there. It's good enough. I'm going to remove the valve cover on this side, which is easier. So let me get this off. Small black Chevy's only got four bolts on the valve cover. Makes it easy. Oop, I dropped something there. So one on the top here. And that's all of them. So that's loose. Get the spacer off of it so I won't lose it. And let's remove this valve cover from here. Well, there it is. Let me show you what it looks like under here. So you can see what I'm seeing. Get you off from the stand there. So I'll remove the valve cover from it. And that's what it looks like. I guess must have been some stuff here. Looks kind of dusty. Probably was some on top of the valve cover. Some dust here too. I guess what I need to do is try to get some of the stuff off like this momentarily so we can crank this up and see if we're getting some oil out of these rockers. Then we will know we're getting oil pressure. So that's what that looks like. I want you to see it. So we're going to start this thing up. Oh, I need to put water in it. So let me put this camera back on the stand and then put some water in the radiator. And so we can get this going. And we can let it run for a little while. So here we go. Put your So you can see what I'm doing there. So let me get some water. Get this radiator cap off. Some more in here. It's probably gonna take well, it didn't take that much. I can actually see the water level right there. So well, I'll go ahead and fill it up all the way. Let's get some more water in here. There we go. Appears to be holding, so that's good. So we got our fuel source, we got water in it, got the valve cover off, and now we're gonna see if we're gonna get oil pressure out of these rocker arms. So let me crank this over and start it. I'm gonna put a little bit of a gas in the carb so we can get this going. So let's see what we got here. I'm hitting the key right now. Here we go. Okay, I can tell that the fuel pump started to suck up the fuel from the makeshift tank there. Put a little more in here. We can keep running a little bit longer. And then where the fuel level to come up to the carburetor. Here we go again. I don't know, it almost felt like it was in gear, like if you wanted to move. Let me make sure this thing's in park. It's got this makeshift floor shifter that I don't even think is connected properly. Yeah, I put it all the way to the front. Hopefully that'll be park. Let's see if I can get this thing going again. See if it'll idle on its own. I don't even know if the gas pedal was hooked up to it. Let me see. Here. Well, I guess it is hooked up. See if I can work it from here. There you go, it's idling. I'm not getting any oil pressure out of the rocker arms. So I suspect either it has no oil in it or there's something going on internally. Um, so like I said, it did not have a dipstick tube or a dipstick, so I could not check for the oil level. So let me turn this off. There, it is loud. It does have open exhaust with the headers. Um, so maybe they didn't put any oil in it. Who knows? Get on this side. Yeah, nothing tried to come out of the rocker arms. So I'm assuming that it may not have any oil in the oil pan. Um, so let me regroup here and let me see what's going on with this oil level. I just put 5 quarts of oil in it. When I checked the oil level, I went underneath and removed the oil pan drain. It only had like a couple of quarts of oil in it. So I went ahead and drained it out and put brand new oil in it. And then we're going to crank it back up and see if we can get some oil pressure up. So here we go. Let's try this again. And this is what happens when, you know, it's an unknown motor. I did notice it's got a brand new oil filter, so I don't know why it only had like a couple of quarts of oil in it. I did notice that the drain plug was kind of loose, so maybe it leaked out. I have no idea. So let's crank this over again and see if we can get some oil pressure to come out of the removed valve cover on this side. So let's cross our fingers and let's try this again. I'm not sure if the accelerator pump, it doesn't sound like it's working with the carburetor. A little more in there. And let's see if we can get it to idle. Here we go. Let's check and see. Get anything out of the rockers? Nothing seems to come out right now, but the engine sounds kind of like it's not knocking or anything. I'm trying to see a little bit out of the first one. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Maybe if you rev it up a little bit, see if it'll come up. Trying to get a little bit out of the front one over here. Oh yeah. See that front one being old? Back one's starting to get oil too. Try to get some out of the front one there, and some in the back one there. But you know, it's kind of squirting pretty good, but who knows? I'm just happy to get some kind of a pressure. Yeah, it's started coming up now. Also getting pretty good pressure. It's kind of pretty good. But you know what? It doesn't look like, I mean, the engine looks clean on the inside, but it doesn't look like a fresh rig on it. There's a couple of markers here that are dry, like that one's dry. At least I think we're getting some kind of a oil pressure. I don't feel too bad now. Like they're all started to pump. Except maybe this one. There's still a little bit of oil coming through right there. All the other ones are coming. Making a bit of a mix. So I think the other is getting. Okay, Okay, this is starting to get a little, I don't need you, I can see it, a little blue. Definitely we're getting all out of it. Makes me feel a little bit better, but I'm not so happy that it doesn't look like what they claim to be, that it was a good rebuild motor or place to rebuild. Ah, I don't know. You know, doesn't look like it to me. And now we're getting oil out of all the rockers. That's a good sign. Got a little bit of a water leak right there on that hose. But overall, it's idling. Not like it's running on all eight to me, even with that open exhaust. So overall, I guess can't be too unhappy about the whole situation. But kind of glad that the oil pressure came up. Let me go ahead and turn this off so you can hear me better. I know it's pretty loud. Sorry for rain over here. I guess just in time. But like I was saying, I don't know if you could have heard me, if you were hearing me when I had the engine running. Finally got oil pressure to build up and got oil out of this rocker arms. So I'm kind of happy about that. So I guess this will be a good stopping point. I guess what I need to do next is probably put the valve carburetor back on, let it run for a while, and let it get up to operating temperatures. So let's do that. Here we go.